Hi guys and ladies, welcome back to the channel. My name is Lisema Matsietsi, and on this week we're talking about disappointments. We're looking at how does disappointment actually generate and how can you do with disappointment. Apparently time is the healer. We'll talk about it. Stay tuned for the rest of the video. I recently just jumped into one of the research that actually cleared up how does disappointment actually take place, especially for us as people. We're expecting things to happen in a certain direction, but things might not always happen in that direction that we're expecting them to do. Some of them previously we've spoken about. Probably your 2023 rules would be, I'm gonna go out there and become an analyst and crack all the doors that I'm gonna find in this world and make it big. And then along the way you find discouragement, you start going slowly, and then you become disappointed. Before we get to that point where you're feeling like you are not good enough, or you're feeling like you know this is just not meant for you, I just want us to have a look at this graph. Graph has got a little bit of verbiage at the bottom. I'm not gonna focus on the verbiage. You can look at that one if you want. I'm gonna put it on the commentary. It's quite interesting. The only thing else that I'm gonna look at is actually the graph itself. If you still like the y and x axis, you would get excited about the graph. What this graph really means is, as people, we expect things to happen at a certain rate. Most of us think that the world or everything else around us happen in a linear way. We'll say, okay, I'm starting out in varsity. In a year, I'm gonna have a scholarship or internship. From there, I'm just gonna grow and grow and grow until I get to the Lamborghini. So some of us, we go along, we're thinking that life will happen in a linear fashion. You start something and then you get promotion and you go along the way. But in real life, that doesn't always happen. What happens is you might sit down and get as much experience as possible. That's what the verbiage is saying behind there. But the timing factor is the one that's quite difficult for us. We cannot expect when can it happen. So let's look at the linear line, the straight line. That's our expectations. I'm expecting I'm gonna get a salary of 1,000 rand, which is going to grow by 10%. In my head, I don't have ups or downs or economical downturn or ESCOM power load shedding. I have nothing. I just got my money should start from 20 years old. There it's going, it's growing. By the time I get to a certain age, should be 1 million. By the time I get to that age, should be 3 million, 5 million, 7 million, 100 million. I retire rich in a yacht or somewhere, in a big house that looks like a auditorium. But the actual reality is, you might take out online training or you might take out university courses, and at the time that you take out all of those, your line might be flat. There might be no difference between you, the person who's got the training, compared to your friend who sits next to you with just a school leaving certificate. Another time you might feel like your expectation is up here, your reality is down here, you're even battling to get a job, and then you might give up because the gap between your expectations and your reality creates an area for disappointments. But the longer you stay in not staying doing nothing, but the longer that you stay probably volunteering or whatever the case is, the longer you stay and you keep on it, you would see that the gap between the two start closing up. And when the gap closes up, that's where you are looking for that tipping point. I think a lot of books have been written about that tipping point, and that tipping point, that's where your expectations and the reality is beyond measure. I mean, you've had guys like Steve Harvey, Mark Zuckerberg, even in the tech space, they're only talking about they're in a place where they could not even have imagined. It's that's where the reality is way beyond your expectations. And all of us, when we start, we're thinking that the reality is gonna be good. But I must say, the journey to analysis is really tough. You might be stuck in that valley of disappointment, and once you are stuck in that valley of disappointment, if you don't have the right tools, if you don't have the right coaches, if you don't have the right mentors, you might actually just give up and just become, anybody else. But the more that you keep on pressing until you get to that tipping point, That's where the submarine actually submerges out of water and everything else blows up. This is where you will work far lesser, but your output is much bigger. Or you will work on less irritating work, but you start working on projects that are actually quite exciting for you. Or you will be working less on BAU and working more on strategic initiatives. It all depends on how you want to define your submarine, where your expectations. You are now engaging with people that you would never thought in your wildest dream that you will engage with those people. That's just where the tipping point will take place. And unfortunately for the rest of us, the time that it takes for that tipping point to take place might be longer than expected. And that's where disappointment comes in. But if you can just focus, when you are stuck in the disappointment area, you just got your masters and you're asking yourself, where's the job for this? Where's the money for this? Where's the title for this? Where's the social recognition for this? Where is somebody else who can pay off my business school fees? Where are those people? When you are in there, if you can just give yourself some time to get to the tipping point, and once you get to the tipping point, things becomes much easier. I know this because I have done my goals keep on moving all the time, but I have achieved a lot of goals and I've reached a tipping point many a times. If you feel this video was quite useful, please consider subscribing, hit the like button. That's the only way that I would know that what I'm saying is quite useful. If you want clarification or something else, there's a commenting below. Please feel free to comment. If you want to ask me anything else, you can go to our website www.beinganalyst.co.za. feel free, website is up. Ask me anything else, and yeah, I'll be able to get in touch.